There's no benefit for marriage for men today. In shape virgins that are going to have 4+ kids. They know how to cook and serve their husbands. Does mean that men are overpaying. High value men make the rules of the marketplace, and you will never offer as much as they do.
You trusted people. You gave your best. And life still crushed you. So now you armor up. You trust no one. You make a bunch of money. You harden your heart. And it feels like strength, like control, like power. But really, it's fear. It's slavery. It's bitterness. And unfortunately, this is destroying a lot of men today. And we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what a common opinion on this is. Okay, jumping on in here, it reads, what are the benefits of marriage for men in 2024? Here we go.
There's no benefit for marriage for men today. Women do not, in general, make men's lives better. And we are the lucky ones to marry, not men being lucky to marry us. Women do not deserve princess treatment. You could maybe argue that women deserve princess treatment that are 22-year-old in-shape virgins without debt and no tattoos, but that's few and far between.
So you should only consider a woman to be a viable, wife or companion for you if they have zero past, right? If they have zero past discrepancies or problems or, things that maybe raise a red flag. That's just automatically just pull out because who they were then is who they are now. And to that, it's like, man, hey guys, do you have no mistakes in your past either? Because if you're measuring women to that standard, they have every right to measure that same standard to you, right? And this isn't just to attack guys, but to say that, oh yeah, man, I can't find a 22-year-old virgin that doesn't have this extensive past. You probably have an extensive past too, right? Like if you're just being logical, you probably have some problems too. Just saying, just something to think about.
That's less than 1% of women. So by and large, women do not deserve princess treatment. How many women are 22-year-old in-shape virgins that are going to have 4+ kids? They know how to cook and serve their husband. I've interviewed 1,000 women and I could count maybe 5. And again, this doesn't mean bad person, but it does mean that men are...
I mean, you are saying they're a bad person. You're saying they're not fit for marriage. They're not fit for relationships. Just saying like that's all she really pointed to. Like she's definitely alluding to they are bad people.
Overpaying. This is called hoflation, all right? And even the 22-year-old debt-free virgins will never have the same amount of value in a relationship as high-value men. High-value men make the rules of the marketplace, and you will never offer as much as they do.
Notice how she makes absolute statements quite a bit, that it's always either all women, never these women, never these men, always these men. It's very much blanket statements that all of a demographic of people does this one thing. All of an age group, all of a type of women with these certain types of behaviors, they all do this certain thing. But really, that's not accurate or reflective of how people actually are, right? And she's clearly just speaking to a very specific audience. Like you can see that, right? The only reason this person even has, any social influence in this way is because she speaks to the anger that so many men carry about this topic, about marriage, about how they've been burned by divorce, how they've been burned in their relationships with women, how they've been ghosted, like all the various things you can point to of men who are just hurting. And that's all she does is she just takes the knife that's already in you and just twists it, right? It's just about how she can warp your anger and further fire it even more, add fuel to the fire and make it that much worse while still presenting no solution. Her solution is never get married, never date. Just don't, if anything costs you something, don't engage with it. There's no point. And I think so many of us get the point of what's happening here and what this kind of message is saying. This isn't just a debate about dating preferences. This is a symptom of something so much deeper. And I think clearly it's saying, don't give more than you get. Protect yourself. Only give when it benefits you. And it sounds like wisdom. It feels like control, but this isn't strength. This isn't masculinity, right? This is fear pretending to be strength. And I think a lot of this is fueled by the bitterness and anger and I think sense of vengeance that a lot of these guys have because they get so badly hurt in these marriages, in these conflicts with these women in their relationship. Even marriages where they have kids, right? And they just feel the weight of this and it sucks, dude. And man, like that's not a solution, right? Just adding fuel to your anger and saying, here's this thing that's not right. Let's make it even more hey, never get married, never go into a relationship. Don't even try. because it'll cost you something. You might have to sacrifice things. And like, it's not to, be apathetic, but everything's going to cost you something. Everything you say yes or no to will cost you something. It just will. Like, there's no way around that. That's literally just how the world works, right? Immediately, kind of what I think of is in Hebrews 12:15, it says, "See to it that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many." And that's exactly what's happening to men everywhere, right? Like, there's this constant growth of bitterness. And these people on the internet, like Pearl and Fresh and Fit, and pretty much all these Manosphere people, all they do is they just add kerosene to the fire. That's it. That's all they're doing. They see your fire, they see your pain, they keep you in that pain, they keep you angry, they keep removing any ounce of forgiveness or remorse you have for the people that you've been involved with, including yourself, and they just keep adding fuel to the fire because they know that there's going to be a paycheck waiting for them at the end of the day. And the big illusion that's sort of offered by this red pill solution is to stack wealth, to maximize status, avoid vulnerability, keep relationships transactional, and protecting yourself at all costs. And it sounds strong, but really it's survival mode. Men aren't built for comfort. They're built for sacrifice. And the highest calling of a man isn't to gain as much desirability to women as you possibly can. It's instead how willing you are to serve people. It's not about building your empire. It's about reflecting Christ. And so the question becomes, then who defines masculinity? How do we even know what this is? And I think the answer is pretty clear. Like, let's look at what Jesus defines this as, right? He was perfect. He was sinless. He was considered, I think, the most high value man ever, right? By their same language that they use. And I really think of John 13, verse 14 through 15. It says, "Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet." And really what this is saying is like, he knelt, he got down, and he washed the feet of people who would soon deny him, people who would deny him 3 times, the guy who literally betrayed him and had him basically is responsible for why he got crucified, and yet he still gave them more than they deserved. He still gave them way more than they deserved. He served even when it cost everything. In marriage, the man doesn't win by being above. He wins by going lower. And Jesus perfectly modeled this by kneeling first to wash the feet of the people who would literally betray him, right? Like, how do we show that kind of grace and humility to people around us in our own life? And how do we even model that in our marriage? Because I think the red pill message just tells you, hey, go be a champion, go be this master of all trades and skills and things, and be as great as you can in this life because there's nothing after this. And that couldn't be further from the truth, right? These things have immense consequences. And not only that, if you have kids, they're seeing every single decision you make, whether you like it or not. And what kind of model you set forth for them is who they will become when they get older. And that leads to, I think, the deepest part of masculinity, of all that I could ever say, right? And immediately, like, and this verse really hits me when I read it, but it's 2 Timothy 4, verse 6 through 8. And this is Paul speaking right before he is essentially going to be executed, is what people believe. And it says, "For I am already being poured out like a drink offering. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith." Paul wasn't chasing comfort. He was bleeding for something eternal. And real masculinity is a mission, not for status, not for comfort, not for revenge, but for eternal purpose. You can keep leaning on the bitterness and anger of the things that happened to you in your past. You can keep looking back to all the things that you wish would have happened a different way, to maybe the women that you married and maybe they made a mistake, maybe you were completely in the right and you're just a victim of a really bad, messed up system. But even so, you still need to forgive these people. Even if you don't want to, dude, like, that's what makes it so difficult. Even when you don't want to, even when it's somebody that you know deep down inside, that vengeance inside you that's speaking says they don't deserve your forgiveness, but God is saying they do. That's what makes forgiveness so hard, right? That's what makes love your enemies so difficult. It's not about holding on to this bitterness and then making this define some kind of mission you have. That's not a mission. That's the enemy destroying your life. The enemy wants you to stay bitter, wants you to stay mad and angry at all the things that you wish you could have had happen differently, but they didn't. You need to let those things go. And I get it. That's easier said than done, but you have to let it go. You have to give it to Jesus and stop carrying this bitterness and anger with you. You have to stop telling young men that they shouldn't get married because either the wife that you had made mistakes or you made mistakes and maybe you don't want to admit it. Maybe the wife doesn't want to admit it. either way, the point is the hurt that you've experienced, you should not dissuade other men using that hurt as this emotional currency. Use this as a way of redeeming what you couldn't have, okay? Or better yet, use it as a way of forgiving the hurts that you carry with you every single day and letting those things go, right? Don't let the pain of your life be this thing, this thorn in your back that you can never remove. And I want to end the video on this note of like, you were not created to be ruled by fear. The red pill feeds your anger. These people only exist because they continue to make money off your anger and hatred for the things that happened to you in your past. And so the question becomes, man, what can you do? And as I was saying, forgive these people. Let go of this bitterness. Let go of this anger. Stop listening to these podcasts and these channels that only want to add fuel to the fire and will not make you happy. They will not give you wisdom. They will not give you life. They'll take all of that away from you. And a bigger point to understand is the red pill says get control, protect yourself, never trust again. Put up as many, emotional guardrails and barriers and invulnerability as you can. But Jesus says to lay it all down. Surrender it all. Surrender it all, and I will carry your pain. The world says be your own God. And Jesus says, come to me, all who are weary, and I will give you rest. And I just want to end the video this way. If this hit home for you, share your story in the comments. Hopefully not a lot of negative stories, but if you do have one, I guess put it there. I read everyone, and subscribe for more content like this. Leave a like, share the video. Let me know what you thought. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your day. God bless.